All right, welcome everyone who's joining. We're going to get started in a few minutes. It's always nice to hear where people are joining from. If you want to drop a message in the chat, give us a shout where you're joining from. It's always exciting to hear. Oh, yeah. San Diego, great. Occupied Memphis. I spotted Kathy. That's great. See if I can figure a way of getting this chat over on the other side of my screen. That's better. Future World Series champions Toronto. Yeah, that's hopeful thinking, Shane. Hopeful thinking. Occupying Washington, D.C. area. Okay. All right. Washington, D.C. Yep. So for those who are joining, you're going to find out that you cannot start your video and you cannot unmute your mic for reasons of this meeting being big with lots of people. We're going to keep it simple. It's going to be a chat only meeting. And that way we can be free from any unexpected interruptions. And we are monitoring the chat. I'm watching the chat myself, and other members of my team are here too. We're going to give people at least another few minutes to join up because it's only just 1 o'clock now. And if you're able to join this meeting with a way of seeing the sharing, so I'm sharing a screen and the screen is wide. It's like a 16:9 screen that I'm sharing. That will make it easy for me to present with having all of the different parts, the moving parts being shown at the same time. So if you're able to join on a device that lets you see all of that in good clarity, then that will be the best way to take this meeting in. And yeah, as Shane points out, we're going to go through the housekeeping in a second. This meeting is going to be recorded. All right, we're just going to give everyone a few more minutes to get into the meeting and then we'll get started. All right, well, let's gradually get this thing going. So we're going to do an introduction to Booth.Events today. My name is Tim, and I'm the owner of the company. I started the working on photo booth apps a long time ago in 2013, about 4 years after I think the iPad came out and became accessible to third-party developers. And at the time, I was a photographer. And if you remember back then, back when I started working on the first app, there was no such thing as Facebook. There was no such thing as social media. We had MySpace. And back then, the only kind of photo booth stuff you could buy was this giant, nasty 80-kilogram, $100,000 thing you had to set up yourself, and it barely worked with MySpace. And then the iPad got invented, and I got really curious about that. And as a photographer, I started wanting to build something that I could use. And that turned into an app that I ended up publishing on the App Store called Wi-Fi Booth. And I believe that was published in 2015 or maybe 2014. And it was the first iPad app that can connect to real cameras. There was no such thing as Snapic or any of the other apps back then. And over time that grew and kind of outgrew Wi-Fi Booth and wanted to make something new. And that's when in I believe in 2018, the ideas for Booth Events were coming together, and in 2019, we started developing it. And at the end of 2020, we launched Booth Events, which historically speaking is universally the worst time to launch an event-based anything because it was right in the middle of the pandemic. But yeah, next time I'll plan it better. What can I say? So a little bit of housekeeping before we get going. The video's off, your video is off so nobody can see you. Your mics are muted. Please use the chat. We're watching the chat carefully. And as Shane is pointing out, we are removing note takers because they are spammy in the chat. That's nothing wrong with you. It's just that we want to keep the chat visible for what you guys are saying, because that's how we're listening to you. The video is being recorded, so don't write anything in the chat that you don't want anyone else to see in the recording. And we're going to show in this demonstration a bunch of different features that are across all the plan levels. We're also going to talk about the plan levels as well. And I want to say thank you very much as we get started, for not only for joining, but thank you to the many people who left us notes in the form of what you want to see in this session. So we carefully went through those, and I tried to design this session to hit as many of them as possible. And I'm excited that you guys wrote down what you want to see. That's really helpful. So please keep doing that if you join any of our other webinars. And if I miss something, please use the chat. If I go past something, please use the chat and shout out what you want to see or what you didn't understand. If I go too fast, because I'm a fast talker, and since I wrote almost all of the code of what we're looking at today, I'm going to kind of flip past concepts perhaps a little quickly because I've been living in them for 5 years. So if I do that, please just drop a note in. I'm going to catch it. I'm going to stop. I'm going to explain what happened, and we'll go through things in our own time. So I told you a little bit about who I am. Now I want to tell you about who we are. So we're a team of 5 people. We're based in Hamilton, Canada, and we've got a couple other contractors working for us as well to do more than just the core engineering and product. We're focused on bringing amazing photo booth experiences to the iPad platform and the web. And it's something we've been doing, I've personally been doing since about 2014, 2015. And we launched Booth Events in 2020. And a lot of the comments that I saw in the sign-up form for this webinar were asking questions like, why are you different than Snappic? Why are you better than LumaBooth? And there was a lot of that kind of those notes, which told me, okay, probably most of you already use not only one photo booth software, probably most of you have experience with many photo booth softwares. And now you're looking at Booth Events and saying, well, what is it you guys do? Why are you better? What's the point of your creation? So I'm going to try, and as we go through this presentation, I'm going to try and keep coming back to that point because it's clear that that's something that you guys are interested in. And of course, pop messages in the chat anytime that you have a specific question about something in that vein as well. I'm just going to hit a few points about what our company offers in that context about who we are as a team. So we're really passionate about making photo booth software, and we're really passionate about listening to customers. So if you're in our community group, you'll see that not only are we super engaged, like myself, the owner, all of the customer experience team is fully engaged in that group, we're also reacting quickly to problems that are discovered and to suggestions that are made that are really obviously great ideas. And we come out with updates, and we prioritize our engineering and product work based on a large part customer experience. And that makes us very, very fast in what we do. We are in general a faster platform than Snappic, than LumaBooth, and other platforms. Our AI images arrive faster directly on the iPad. Our texts and emails arrive faster. Our gallery on the web browser and your old mobile phone and your grandma's old mobile phone, it loads faster than anybody else's does, and it loads more reliably as well. Our live template preview on the iPad, we're going to see some of these features that are unique, help the guest experience be faster and more efficient on the iPad. So we're quite focused on speed because we know your business doesn't have any time to wait. We're more affordable than many of the other options. So our annual subscription, we're going to get into detail in the plans you're going to see, is one of the most affordable plans out there, bar none of any platform. So we are not the expensive option, let's put it that way. And we're going to go into more detail on that a bit. We're better quality. So if you talk to top influencers who have used all of the platforms, or you talk to technical geniuses who have used all the platforms, they're going to tell you that we have the best still image quality and the best AI quality. And the reason for that is we are really, really picky about it. We spend a lot of time looking over all of the pipeline, all of the time, and refining and refactoring it. And the result is we have the best looking images, bar none. And we also have the best AI Glam filter. We were really happy to see some of our competitors have copied it. That's flattering for us. We have the best color filters in the market, and I could go on, but let's move on for now. So here's the plan. Here's what we're going to do today, and I'm going to keep watching the chat so you can have an effect on this. But this is the plan, and nothing ever goes to plan. So apologies when I screw this up and don't go through it exactly how I'm trying to, but this is the plan. We're going to talk about the recommended hardware. So if you're not familiar with Booth.Events, we're going to talk about what we think you should have. We're going to go through our plans really quickly because some of you have asked, and some of you have said, I'm not sure which plan's for me. We're going to talk about how to get help. So if you get started with Booth.Events and you get stuck on something, what you can do to get help. And we're going to talk about the web side of things and the iPad side of things. So we're going to create an event. We're going to set up a template. We're going to add our branding. We're going to connect a camera. We're going to adjust its settings. We're going to launch that event. We're going to do so much stuff. And then we're going to spend some time on AI. And we just had an AI webinar where Shane did an awesome job of showing on the web how you can create your own AI prompts really quickly. And in this one, we got a lot of feedback asking for time to be spent on AI. For this one, I'm going to try and focus on the iPad experience because Shane focused on the web experience of the AI side, and I'm going to try and focus on the iPad side. And that way, between the two webinars and the two recordings, you should be able to see it all. Thanks, Robert. Yes, he did do a great job. So we're also going to looking at sharing to the gallery and customizing the gallery. We're going to play with that. And if we have time, we're going to keep going. We're going to do data collection. We'll be showing live sync. We're going to export our data. We're going to see some analytics about the guests. If we have more time, we'll look at adding printing, showing off our AI Glam filter, and customizing the app itself. So fingers crossed we actually have time to do those things, but let's go. Okay. Oh yeah, and Shane, that reminds me, I forgot to prep the custom app buttons for the capture types. If you have a set of app buttons, if you could Slack those to me, then I can grab those. That's my bad. Okay, let's go on. So recommended hardware. We support a whole bunch of different cameras that you can connect. We support Canon, Sony, and Nikon, and we were soon going to add support for GoPro as well. But everyone always asks us, what do you recommend? It's really simple. We recommend the Canon R100. Canon cameras are the best ones for photo booths. I'm personally a Nikon shooter, and I'm quite happy to say that Canons are better for photo booths. And the reason for that is they're really reactive to tethering. The R100 is one of the most affordable, highest quality options we've ever seen from Canon. It's lightning fast, its focus is accurate in the dark, its pictures are super high quality, and it's very, very affordable. The Canon R100 is what we recommend. Printer-wise, it depends a lot on what you want, but a small, lightweight, modular 4x6 option is the DNP QW410, which works really well. One of the things that people overlook is the USB hub. For us as an app that connects to your printer and your USB camera, this is a make or break piece of hardware. A bad hub can screw up your whole life. We recommend the DocTech series from Amazon. The 7-in-1 is a specific one, that picture there, that we recommend. A bad hub will give you all kinds of errors with your camera and all kinds of errors with your printer. So get a good hub. That last 17 number, that's iOS 17. So you do need an iPad, a Mac, or an iPhone to run the app, the guest experience. And we support iOS 17 and up. As far as like which iPads does that mean, then we always recommend an iPad from the last 4 years if you can afford it. But iOS 17 will run on 10-year-old iPads quite happily. And of course, yes, we support them. I want to call out one specific iPad to avoid, and that is the 9th gen and 10th gen iPads. The 9th gen and 10th gen iPads are quite old now, but there's a lot of them out there. They're very poor pieces of machinery. They have less RAM than they should, and they don't work very well. We've got lots of booths listed on the bottom there. We don't have a preference for any of these companies. We work with them all, and they're all great companies. We recommend that if you are looking for booth hardware, you check out some of these guys. This is not a complete list. But most importantly, we integrate with their LED settings, their LED lights that come in their booths. We've worked with them to make sure that our LED settings, our LEDs, that your LEDs are going to light up. All right. So let's go. Let's get started. I'm going to get rid of the keynote here. All right. And what you should be able to see here, let me just rearrange my windows a little bit. On the left, you can see the web. That's a web browser. I've got Chrome open and I'm on my Booth.Events dashboard on the top there. And on the right, I've got an iPad running the Booth.Events app. So if I just flip out to the iPad screen, there, now you can see that's an iPad. Okay, great. So on the left, I've got the web browser. On the right, I've got the iPad. And Sam is asking, will it connect to most LED systems? Yes. So we support most of the commonly used Bluetooth controllers, including the SP110E, which is used by ATA and many other booth vendors, the SP107E, which is commonly used. It's in the Salsa 1. So if you have the Salsa 1 booth, that's supported. We support Danny Max's controllers. We support a couple of other standard ones. I think it's the SP631E. But basically, if you are missing support, like Victor, if you're saying that there's things you want added, then you need to tell us the specific Bluetooth controller or the brand of the booth that implements the controller, and then we can take a look if it's possible for us to support it. There are some that we can't support, most notably the Salsa 2. They've done that intentionally. They've made that impossible to reverse engineer. Basically, they're not using standard Bluetooth for that. And we respect their decision. They don't want other people integrating with their hardware. Fine, that's their choice. Okay, so let's go here. On the left-hand side, I'm signed into the web. And that means I've already created an account. So I'm going to go to my account page real quick. And you can see I've got my information about the account up there up the top. When you create an account, you have to sign up with an email address and make a password. And when you do that, you get a couple different options. You can sign up with your Google account, you can sign up with email, and you can sign in with Apple. We don't recommend that you use sign in with Apple, especially the hide my email case, because it generates problems later when you say, my email is this, please help me with something. And of course, you've hidden your email address from us, so we can't find it. So we always recommend use the sign in with email option, because that way, if you want to tell someone over the phone your username and password because it's your attendant with an iPad somewhere else, then it's very easy to do. If they have to sign in with Google, it can be quite tricky. But let's get started. Let's make an event. So here I am on the dashboard. I've got no upcoming events at the moment. And we will go to the events page here. And here I can see my upcoming events and my past events. I'm going to smash that big button, create an event. I'm calling it Webinar 101. Super unique name. And right away, you can see I've got two options. By default, I'm going to create an empty event, or I can say I want to create an event from another account. So that's what many people call white labeling. With white labeling, what this means is that you can, with permission from someone else, get their account ID and get the event ID that they've shared with you. And you can copy an entire event with everything, all of the settings, all of the templates, AI filters, whatever, all of the stuff that that event needs to run. You can duplicate it into your account. So what that means is if you get into a white labeling situation where you set everything up and it's ready to go, but some other company is running the system, then they can duplicate your event. Okay, we're not going to do that right now. We're just going to create an empty event. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, here I am. I'm in my default event view. So I've just created a new event. And at the top, I can see some information about the event. I can see it's a Pro Plus event. What that means is I have on this account a Pro Plus subscription. And that means that when I created this event, it took that Pro Plus from my subscription and said, yeah, okay, great. This is a Pro Plus event. That means it has 2 years of expiry. It has all the features. Let's go and have a look right now before we go any further of what this really means. So I'm going to go to our pricing page, because one of the questions people ask is how much do things cost and what's included? So right now I'm showing you on our pricing page this table that lists all of the different features that we have and what's included in what package. And you can see we have 3 packages: Basic, Pro, and Pro Plus. I'm saying packages, but I mean plans. And as I scroll down, I can see there are some differences. And I'm going to call out a few of the big ones right now. The biggest one is this one right here. When you have a Pro Plus subscription, doesn't matter if you're paying monthly or annually, you have 4 iPad licenses. The minimum number of iPad licenses for Pro Plus is 4. So that means that whatever you're paying for Pro Plus, you have 4 iPad licenses. Basic and Pro, on the other hand, only include 1 iPad. Now, why does that matter? Why did we choose to do it that way? Well, there's 2 reasons. The biggest one is that we think it's important that as your business starts to grow, as you go from your first booth to your second booth, or maybe even your third booth, that your software doesn't cost more at that time. Because in this time, you are super vulnerable. Your business is just getting started. Things are tough. You're making ends meet barely. And it's a fight to be out there and to win those contracts and get those clients. And in the moment that you have to do that, the last thing that you need when you finally can get another iPad in another booth is to start paying more for your software too. So we keep the Pro Plus level at 4 iPads and up to start with. Andrew asked, how many share stations? That's a great question. So we don't have different licenses for different things. When we say an iPad, we mean an iPad doing anything. So if an iPad is running the share station, that's using an iPad license. And if the iPad is a capture station, that's an iPad license. And if the iPad is doing everything all at once, that's an iPad license too. So it's really simple. If the iPad is running our app, then it's using a license. iPhones are unlimited on Pro Plus and Pro. Meaning, for example, let's say you have a 360 spinner with an iPhone in it. That doesn't need a license. You can have 10 of them on one account and it will not matter. It's only the iPads that need licenses. We did this because we think this is super flexible for how you want to set up really cool activations with lots of people doing lots of different things, especially if you have roamers. So let's say that you have a roaming event and you have people walking around with DSLRs with a little iPhone on the back with our app running. The phone, you're pressing the button on the DSLR, it's taking the picture. We call that tethered shooting. Our phone is receiving the picture and immediately uploading it to the gallery in the capture station mode. Okay, great. Well, you need to have maybe 2 or 3 of these photographers at a big event. And that's all included because we don't count iPhone licenses. If you want to add more iPads, you have to be on the Pro Plus plan. You cannot add any additional iPad licenses to the basic or Pro plans. So you get to the Pro Plus, you've got 4 iPads, and then you can add more. Another question is, how much does this all cost? Now, I'm in Canada seeing Canadian prices, which isn't very useful for you because most of you aren't in Canada. So I'm just going to tell you what these prices are. At the moment, Pro Plus is $129 a month, and that's for the 4 iPads, and it's $999 per year with the 4 iPads. But wait, there's more. You know, the classic line. At the moment, what we're doing is we're giving everyone who signs up for any subscription 200 free AI credits. That means 200 AI generations. So other platforms aren't doing this. We think it's important that once you start a subscription, including a trial subscription, when you haven't even given us any money yet, that you can immediately use all of the features, including the AI that needs credits. So once you sign up, if you go to the AI prompts page, you can claim your free credits. Pretty cool. Okay, that's a little bit about our plans. I recommend that you go to Booth.Events/pricing. You're going to see the prices in your own currency. So if you're in the EU, you're going to probably see euros. If you're in Canada, you're seeing Canadian dollars. America is US dollars. If you're in Mexico, you're seeing Mexican pesos. So we don't just do like a live conversion. We have per country pricing. And the reason for that is some countries make a lot more money than others. And we think it's not fair to charge everyone a flat fee. Okay, let's continue. Let's go back to our dashboard here. And you remember I created an event. Now I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to turn off the stickers for demo purposes. I don't want them. So I'm just going to click the stickers and say save. No, I don't want that. And you can see I've got these 3 templates here, right? I've got kind of plain templates. Yeah, that's great, but I want to make my own because I want to set up a strip. So let's do that. I'm going to flip over to the templates page. So templates, we give you lots of basic ones, but of course you can make your own. Templates define quite a few things. They define what the output of the image from the iPad looks like, and they define which features are enabled. So let's go into some detail. I'm going to copy one of these. So I'm going to select this one here and hit add it to my account. So that just duplicates it to my account so I can change it. So here I'm in our template editor, which is a web-based editor. I can click and drag things and undo and redo and all the good stuff that you want to have in a template editor. And I had ChatGPT make some really bad logos for example purposes. So let's make a really terrible logo here. I'm intentionally going to put it in a bad spot. You'll see why in a second. So there's my awful logo that I've made. I'm just going to put that in there. And now once I've made this template, I've got it how I like. Now I need to go back and put it on the event because I haven't told the event to use that template yet. So I've navigated back to the event. I'm going to click change on the templates, and I'm going to choose that one that I've just made. There we go. To make things simpler, I'm going to unselect one of these as well, just so we don't have so many. And then I'm going to hit save. Okay, great. Now, have you guys been looking at the iPad? I haven't touched it, but that event that I made is already there. That's pretty cool. So that's the beginning of what you're seeing in our live sync feature. And it is something that we think is really great. So let's go ahead and launch this event. What I did is I touched the row for the event, and I'm going to come back and show you some of this stuff in a second, but I want to show you this live sync right off the bat. So let's say this iPad is somewhere else. It's in a different state. I'm in Mississippi and it's in Tennessee. I'm going to go ahead and choose one of these other templates and shove it on the event there. And you can see the iPad is picking up all of these changes live. You can see that template just popped in. And all of the stuff across our platform is using this technology. And what this enables you to do is to have lots of iPads around the world and manage it all from one spot with no attendance and no need to remote in or do some sort of remoting to the iPad and telling it to reload or resync something. It's all just going to happen automatically. And that's a really great way of making sure that you can get all of your iPads running quick. Okay, but let's go back to the iPad and just start from scratch a little bit. I'm just going to pick the iPad up so I have it in my hand here. So I'm going to tap on the Webinar 101 there, and now I've got this event. You can see it on the right-hand side. It's slid in that bar there. So I've got 3 pages of settings. At the bottom, you can see I've got start and capture and actions. And each of these are a set of settings about the event. Some of these settings are about the device. Some of them are about the event, and I can go into detail on that later. But what I'm trying to show you right now is that there are some settings that you set on the web. So I'm going to, on the web, on the left-hand side now, I'm going to click in that browser, the edit button. So I can see that some of my branding and options that affect the gallery are directly done on the web, and things about privacy and, again, things that affect the gallery are done on the web. In general, if it affects the gallery, you probably set it up on the web. And if it's something to do with creating or renaming or changing an event, you probably set that up on the web. If it's something to do with capture, so like how long is the countdown timer, or should the guests be able to make videos, that's probably something you set up on the iPad. So let's use an example of both of those now. So one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my plain square template and I'm going to turn on some AI because I know you guys want to see it. So let's go to plain square and let's hit edit template. It's warning me, hey, this isn't one of yours. This is a public one, so you're going to have to duplicate it. I'm saying, yep. Great, no problem. And now I'm going to go into the settings of the template in the top right, and you can see I've got 2 kinds of AI. I've got AI portraits, and AI prompts. Well, what's the difference between the 2 kinds of AI? That's a good question, Tim. So AI portraits is our original AI. It's for one person, one guest at a time only. It cannot do groups. It's fast. It's 10 seconds, just like AI prompts is. They're both really fast. But AI portraits is super good at making consistent results that really have a great likeness to the guest. So they preserve the face, the skin tone, the body structure, everything's really well preserved, and AI portraits are really good at that. They're also really good at preserving logos. And so, for example, if you have a corporate logo in your filter that you create with us, then it's really good at preserving that and not mangling it. AI portraits is our own custom AI. This is not based on Google Nano Banana. AI prompts is Google Nano Banana. So with AI prompts, the benefits are that you can create them really fast. You can type in your own custom one versus with AI portraits, you have to go through an order process with us because we're training models for you. With AI prompts, you can just type it in and do it really fast. And check out Shane's webinar where he's shown you in great detail how to do that. So for our example, let's turn them both on, and then we can play with them both. So I'm going to say, yep, I want to use this. This is warning you that, hey, this is beta technology. It can change at any time. And that's because it's beta technology and it can change at any time. Okay, let's pick a few of these things. Baseball's in season. Let's pick 3 of those and hit save. And now let's turn on AI prompts as well. Now, keep in mind where I am. I'm editing a template. Okay, why are these settings connected to the template? Why aren't they connected to the event? Well, that's because when you set these things up, you can connect different templates to your event, and it's the templates that decide what you can do with them. So, for example, you might want one template to only be for AI, and you're just expecting people to share that on social media and put it on Instagram. And then you can have another template, which is a strip, which is what you expect to print. And that's the experience that we're going to set up right now. So I'm going to click on AI prompts. It's got an awesome picture of Shane kicking someone. I'm going to hit enable, and I'm going to choose some prompts. Dwayne Pipe's obviously in there. Disco Fever, Arctic Deco, let's go. Okay, I'm going to save some of these. As you can see, those are all public prompts. There's loads of them. They're awesome. We're adding new ones all the time. Okay, I'm not going to touch the color and glam filter because it's already 128, and I don't want to spend too much time on that. I want to get straight to the AI. Okay, I've made this plain square template on my account, and I have connected these AI experiences to the template. Now, a little gotcha here. I got to go back and go to my templates because it's the public one that's selected on this template right now, and that's not the one I just edited. So I'm going to unselect the public one and select the one I just made. We plan to improve this in the future, but for now, that's a little gotcha. I'm going to hit save. Great. Oh, did you see that on the right-hand side? Did you see that? Did you see? Did you see that? Did you see? The downloads bar just changed because it realized, oh, I need to download more assets. So those assets were immediately live synced to the device. It downloaded them and we're good to go. Okay, great. Let's check. We've got the strip. Yeah, we've got all that. Yep. Okay, so now let's go over to the iPad side. So on the iPad here, I'm going to go to the middle tab. And now you can see AI photo and AI portrait are turned on. AI photo is the AI prompts technology, and AI portrait is the AI portrait technology. And you can see there's all these capture types that are turned on by default: photos, AI photo, portrait, slow-mo, boomerang, GIF, testimonials. For this demo, I'm going to turn off the slow-mo, turn off the boomerang, turn off the GIF, and turn off the testimonial. And to make things faster, I'm going to turn down that countdown timer to 2 seconds. Okay, I'm also going to turn the app sounds off because that could get screwy with the audio in a webinar. Okay, I'm going to leave everything else as its default. There's tons of settings, lots of stuff that we support. If you have any questions about those, you can smash those in the chat, and either Shane or I will help you out with those. When I hit launch, I get this nice little checklist. Don't skip it. Have a look at the checklist. If you see something in yellow, read it. If you see something in red, you probably have to read it because it probably won't even let you start. If you get stuck, you can file a support request, and we're going to talk about that in a second about how to do it. But most importantly, read what's here. Okay, so let's start this event. Okay, great. Here is my webinar. Or my event, sorry. And you can see if I wanted to, I'd add a printer, and I'm not going to do that right now. We're going to skip that for now. Let's hit OK. And here we are in the guest experience. And now you've got me in 2 places, which is probably really weird. And I know that since you're watching this in a Google meeting, that the live view is probably pretty choppy. On my screen, it's nice and fluid. Okay, so first things first, let's do some AI. So let's do an AI photo. So when I hit the AI photo button like that, it goes straight to the photo taking experience. And let's do that now. And I think for the essence of time, I'm not going to connect my Canon because we're a little bit short on time. But maybe I'll come back to that. We'll see how far we get. It's really simple. It's just plug it in. Okay. So I've taken a photo. For some reason, if I blinked or my eyes are half shut, I could hit the reshoot button at the top left. There's a nice intuitive guest flow, but this one's fine. I'm just going to hit, go, use this photo. Okay, and if you remember, here are the 3 photos that I picked, or sorry, 3 AI prompts that I picked. And I'm going to choose that bottom one, the Gatsby Arctic Circle one. Okay, and this is this is a nice experience for the demo. You can see, yes, you didn't get any credits, so I'm being warned. Hey, better go get some credits. Okay, let's do that. I'm gonna go to AI prompts, and you can see, oh yeah, I have 0 credits. I'm on the web here, right? And hit get more, and I could either buy some, but hey, since I'm a subscriber, every subscriber gets 200 credits for free. That's awesome. All I have to do is hit claim, and boom, I have 200 credits. Okay, let's go back to the iPad again, and let's make another photo. Awesome. I'm going to hit use that photo and pick that bottom filter again. And this time we're going to get a little bit further. So Srikanth was asking about the DSLR mirror booth. If your mirror booth can run on macOS, then you're set. If it can't, then you're not. Okay, there's a picture of me looking better than I ever have in real life. And my wife will be jealous because she's really wanted to see the Northern Lights, and apparently I'm getting to see them and she's not. So you can see there's a re-roll button. If you hit re-roll, it'll use another credit and create another photo, and you have the ability to turn that off. By default, we allow the guest to re-roll twice. The reason that we do that is because this is using Google's Nano Banana technology, and it's not always great at preserving the likeness. Sometimes you get a random bad generation, and in that case, you just hit re-roll and get a good one. But I actually really like this. This looks great, and that's because Shane designed these prompts, and he's really good at it. So I'm going to hit the looks good button. Okay. Oh, absolutely fabulous photo booth has pointed out something nice. They're saying, hey, we support rotation automatically on the DSLR. Yes, we do. Thank you for noticing. We support 3 kinds of auto rotation, and I'm going to dork out on this for 30 seconds because it took me a long time to write it. One is if the camera supports telling us it's rotated, we'll rotate the live view and the output. The other one is if we can detect that the live view frames are rotated from its metadata, we'll automatically rotate it. And the last one is you can manually, in the advanced settings, say my camera doesn't support any of those, but I have rotated the camera, and you can tell us what the rotation is. So yes, you can mount your DSLR in any orientation, and it'll work really well with all of our software. Okay, I've taken my AI prompt and I've got the ability to print it. I don't want to do that right now. I'm just going to say get my shots and I'm done. Let's go ahead and email it to ourselves. Actually, you know what? Let me have a think. What's going to be the best way to do this? No, let's email it to me. What? Yep, that's fine. Good. And you see the guests get a nice chance to confirm their link, or confirm their email address once they've entered it, because it's quite easy to enter the thing wrong. All right, now let me go on another screen that you can see and grab that link in the email and show it to you. All right, where's that window? There we go. Okay, so let me see if I can pop this out into the screen that I'm sharing here. So my email has come in. It's your photos from the event name. I didn't customize that. It's all just the kind of default standard. And there's the image that I've set for my account. And I didn't set an image for the event, so there's nothing showing here. And I'm just going to hit the View Photos button. And when I hit the View Photos button, I get this tab right here. And here's my gallery. Okay, great. And when I'm on the gallery, I have the option to change how I see my stuff. As we add more photos, we'll come back to this and I'll show you some of these gallery view options, and hopefully we'll get time to customize it as well. Okie dokie. Well, let's continue. So for the next one, let's do an AI portrait. So we're going to show our other original AI. This is the one that runs on our own models. So let's go with baseball. Let me choose the baseball one. And you can see for that one, I chose the experience first, and now I'm taking the picture. And that's because some of the experiences require different photo taking. So we make you choose the experience first. Okay, that's not a very good picture of me. I'm going to hit reshoot and do that again. I remembered where the camera is now. Okay, and you'll see in this one, we allow you to choose the gender, and that's because we don't have as good as automatic gender detection as Google has. And also, it's kind of fun to play around. Sometimes you can see what you look like as a female baseball player. So I'm going to hit the button on the left and see what I look like. It's going to be uncanny valley. We love it. But this is the kind of stuff that I like for AI. It's messing around. Okay, this is super fast. It's about 10 seconds. And for this one, we give the guest the option to enter their email or text. Oh, no. I hope you can see this hilarious picture of me. Look at that flow. Exactly. B-bells. That's just great. Now I'm going to demo something really cool. I'm going to demo the Take More feature. This is another unique feature that we have. I don't think any other app has. If I hit Take More, I'm back to the beginning, and I can do another photo, and I get them all in one session. So let's do back to the AI photo. So this is the first one that we looked, the Google Nano Banana one again. and we'll do a Dwayne pipe generation. And what we're going to see is that all of these photos are going to be all together. That means I can enter my email address or my text once and get all of the photos. So this is really great for people who want to do a bunch of photos at the photo booth, and it saves a ton of time because they don't have to type in their email address every single time. So now I could keep going and hit take more again, but I'm going to say get all my shots. And up at the top here, if I scroll over, you can see on the iPad, I've got all of the photos I took. Okay, great. And I can email those to me as well. I'm just going to hit done for now. You can see also there's a QR code option. So for guests that don't want to enter any information, they can use that. We also support AirDrop. I have it turned off right now, but it's easy to turn on. Okay, great. That one's done. Okay, let me go back to the plan. We have skipped a few things. I told you nothing goes to plan. I was right. Let's talk about how you get help. Okay, there's a bunch of different ways of getting help. Let's start with the best one. Click the big question mark. So you see it on the web here in the bottom right. I'm going to click that question mark. And right away, I can see some of my, let's say, help articles that it's recommending. I'm going to type AI. I'm going to hit enter. And I can see some of those articles are filtered down to AI. Now, if you're like me, you really don't like this little tiny window. You want to read text in your whole gosh darn browser. So open up a new tab in your browser and go to help.booth.events. And this is the exact same support article system with all of our articles. And now you can see it in full screen. So I can search for AI, pick my first one there, and I can read through how to do the help. A lot of our help articles have videos. In these videos, I step you through slowly how to set things up. I explain some of the gotchas, and I show you how to do some of the kind of commonly requested things. We make videos based on your support request tickets. When people have problems with things, we make more videos for them. Of course, we improve the product as well. So some of these videos are going to be bang on what you're looking for, so please watch the videos. Okay, having said that, let's imagine that it doesn't work. You have some problem, like your app is crashing, or your camera just isn't connecting. You've read all the articles, you don't know what to do. So what you do is you hit this question mark here, and see at the top where it's got answers, you flip that over to ask, and you smash that email button. You can see all the people that are online right now, and you can type in your subject, type in how we can help, and hit send a message. Okay, awesome. That's really great. That means that I can really quickly just file an online support request, and we will reply back usually really quickly, usually within a few minutes to an hour if it's in business hours. And if it's event times like Saturday and Sunday, we're around as well. Then there's another way you can get in contact with us if you have a Pro Plus account. We have emergency phone support. What does emergency mean? It means don't call us asking how to set up your event 2 weeks before, because you're supposed to figure that out yourself with our help articles. But call us when you're at the event that you did all your proper prior planning and it's just not working. That's what that phone support is for. So there's a support number on your account page. If you are a Pro Plus member, you can go to your account page on the left there, find the phone number, give it a call. Some human will pick up the phone and help you out. All right. I'm just going to read through the chat because I'm catching up here. Doesn't need the country code as part of the number. I think what you mean is when you're doing the texting. So when you hit that text button, it's going to read the country of the iPad. And mine is going to be Canada. So it's going to show +1 with the Canadian flag by default. So let's go ahead and do a quick demo of that. I'm going to hold my 2 fingers down on the screen. And this is really important because this is how you exit the event. So I'm going to hold my 2 fingers on the iPad screen to pop up the in-event menu. And here I can see how to get the heck out of here. I can go back to event settings. But for me, I'm going to open the gallery. I'm going to choose to open the iPad gallery, which is going to show just the photos from this iPad. If I open the cloud gallery, let's say I had 4 iPads all running on this same event, then it would show me all of the photos from all 4 of those right there on this iPad. So let's go ahead. This iPad, and there's all the photos I took. Let's touch on the Dwayne Pipe one there. And let's scroll over and hit text. So there you go. I've got the Canadian flag, as I said. And if I just type in my phone number, just kidding. Did you think I was going to show you my phone number? No freaking way. Okay. If I type in a phone number, it's by default showing the Canadian flag. But what happens if I want to send it to someone in England? Well, the England country code is +44. And as soon as I do that, you can see that flag changes to the UK. If my iPad was already set to have in the settings app, if it was the country set was to the UK, then it would already show the UK flag by default, and you could enter 077 for a mobile number in the UK. So this kind of short version of all of that is, hey, make sure you set the country of the iPad for where you actually are. Okie dokie. Let's have a quick look at the plan. We've talked about how to get help. We've gone through the web. We've set up our first event and a strip template, and we haven't connected the camera yet, and we haven't adjusted its settings, so we can still do that. We've done the AI prompts and the AI portraits, and we've shown what the experience is like for those. We've started showing the gallery, but we haven't customized it yet, and we haven't done data collection or printing. Okay. I think connecting a camera is going to be interesting because I'm just realizing I have the iPad shared via a cord, which the camera needs to plug into. So maybe we'll save that one till the end. What else we got? Let's do the gallery customization next. Okay. So yes, Sam is asking if you're sending from the UK to out of country numbers, then yes, you would need to hit like +1. If you're in the UK and your iPad is set to the UK and you want to send to an American number or a Canadian number, you would hit +1, the area code and whatever, and that would send to that number. Yes, that's correct. So basically, if you're sending to a country the iPad's not based in, then you would have to enter the country code. That just makes sense. Okay, let's do some gallery customization. So let's bring the gallery back. I'm going to bring that kind of in the middle there. So this is what people are going to see. And I'm going to go ahead and make it look like we're looking on a phone, because most of your guests are going to be looking at this on a phone. So here we go in the middle there. I'll zoom it up a little bit because I know you guys have smaller screens. That's what you're going to see like when you're on a mobile phone. And that's just the session that I was emailed to myself. What if I want to see the whole gallery? So by default, you can do that. I can go to the whole gallery, and you can turn this off if you don't want that, if you have privacy requirements. So I hit gallery, and now I can see the whole gallery, and I can scroll down. And as I get to the bottom, it's automatically doing it, and you can also hit the button to check for more, but this is a live updating gallery. So it's going to load in more images as you scroll around. Okay, cool. You can see I'm in this view that's kind of like what we call it masonry. I think I'm going to click here. I'm going to change to make it simple. I'm just going to show everything in little squares. Great. Now I can see more on a screen. Another thing that's really cool is we have a timeline view in our gallery. So this is going to bucket everything by half hour or 15-minute chunks. So this is a really great way of, like, if you've got a really huge gallery with tens of thousands of photos, but you know which day and which time your photo was, you can just switch to this timeline view and scroll. The guests can easily scroll to the time that they were in and find their photo. And we think that's a really awesome feature. You can also obviously change the sorting and the stacking. You can click an image to make it full screen. It's really simple to download. That button there will immediately download the image so that people can share it on their socials. Everything that you expect. One thing I'm noticing is that these images aren't branded at all. Let's go back and edit the template. So I'm going to go back to the templates. There's my plain square. I'm going to edit that. And at the bottom there, I'm going to hit that upload button. I'm going to grab a white version of my really terrible logo that I had ChatGPT make. I'm going to smash that in the bottom there. And I wait at the top until I see it change from saving to saved. And now I'm going to go back to the iPad. Okay. So on the iPad, I'm going to go do another photo. Let's do an AI photo. Keep in mind, this iPad might be a million miles away from where you were. You might have been on a beach in Tahiti doing the web browser. All right, let's go ahead and pick the disco one this time. And can enjoy a whole 5 seconds without hearing me say anything. That's terrible. Look good. Okay, and bang, you can see my logo is now immediately on that image. So I didn't have to do anything other than just edit the template. What does that mean? It means with Live Sync, this template editor on the left here is live. If I edit the template, people are going to have those changes immediately in their events. And we think that's really awesome. Okay, great. So I hit done. Now let's go back to the gallery. And I'm going to scroll down. And you know what? I'm just going to change it so that, oh no, I think we're good. because is that the first one I did? Yeah, that's the first one I did. Right. And there you go. I scrolled down. I didn't have to hit the click for new uploads button. I just scrolled around and eventually the image was uploaded. And there it is on the gallery. Awesome. So the gallery is live, live sync is live, everything is live. Hooray. Okay, now this gallery looks really boring. So let's spice it up a bit. I'm going to move this over to the right-hand side. And let's just shrink it down a little bit. And I'm going to go back to my event, Webinar 101. And first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to upload an image for the event so it doesn't have just nothing. Do I have any silly images? Okay, here's a silly image of Nick. Let's just put that in there. Okay, great. So now if I reload my gallery on the right-hand side, I can see my silly image of Nick. Awesome. Obviously, you would put a better image there than that. Now, let's say that I have some social links that I want to put in. So remember, I was telling you how to get help. One of the greatest ways to get help is to go to our Facebook group. So we have a Facebook page, but we also have a Facebook group. Our Facebook group is called Booth.Events Community. And we're really active here. All of our members are active here. We're active here. If you want to talk to us, this is a great place. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take that URL and I'm going to go back to my event and I'm going to stick it in as my Facebook link. Okay, cool. And I'm also going to go to this customize the gallery and session pages here, and I'm going to change it to a messaging button. Let's pretend that we were doing some sort of link to a sponsor's website to visit our sponsor, and so please visit our sponsor. Who's our sponsor going to be? Shane, give us an idea. Who should our sponsor be? New Shane Enterprises. Photo booth marketing. Great. Photo booth marketing. So button link https://photoboothmarketing.com. Awesome. Okay, I'll hit save. I hope that's the real website. Now let's reload the gallery. So next person comes and you can see, okay, we've got that Facebook link that we added in and we've got our button text. And if we click photo booth marketing, a new browser tab will be opened and Photo Booth Marketing's website will eventually load. There we go. Awesome. Okay. Cool. So there's a quick one of adding some content to the gallery. Let's choose our own colors. So Photo Booth Marketing is not these colors. Let's go to branding. So we're going to see that these change the colors in a lot of different places. So I'm going to change this to fairly vibrant red. I don't like that orange. I'm going to make that a fairly dark purple. And for the blue, I'm going to just change it to be a little bit more blue. We recommend that when you change these galleries, or change these colors rather, that you make them dark enough that white text can be shown on top of them. So don't choose a super light color, choose a darker color. Okay, gallery text, let's flip it around. Let's make it black with white on top. And actually, let's see if we can take a photo booth marketing like blue, like that, and we'll hit save. Okay, let's reload the gallery on the right-hand side. Terrible. Oh my God, that's such a bad job. Okay, let's go back. Let's not have blue as a background color. That was a terrible idea. Let's hit save. All right, reload. Oh, that's better. Okay, now let's go back to the iPad. Oh, I need to get on the screen. And let's go and have a look. And right away, you can see my colors on the iPad are different. So those colors that we changed on the template, they have live sync to the iPad as well. So they don't just affect the gallery, they affect everything. So now my photo buttons at the bottom are red. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. All right. Let me just see if I can grab something. All right, Shane has sent me some buttons. Exactly, awesome. So the next thing I want to do, you see how those buttons at the bottom there, they are just big, boring, kind of clear white buttons. One of the things that's cool is you can change those to anything you want, again, without being at the iPad. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go to branding iPad on the left-hand side on the web and scroll down to these buttons here. I'm going to choose to set a photo button. I'm going to choose this one. And then a slow-mo button. I'm going to choose this one. And a boomerang button. I'm not sure I'm picking the right ones, but whatever. This is a quick demo, should we say. Actually, I've only got AI photo and AI portrait showing, so you know what? We don't even need to do these ones. Let's do AI portrait is showing, so let's choose something for that. Sure, whatever. And AI photo is showing, so let's choose something for that. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to hit save changes. And what you're going to see on the iPad is it doesn't change yet, but as soon as I go through a photo experience and then I go back, now they've changed. Now you can see that we changed the treatment of the screen quite a bit. Instead of having that white background, we now take away that card and just show your images there. And that's because you might want to have triangles or hexagons instead of that big sort of square thing. And also we support animated PNGs, and this area scrolls. So if you want to make these buttons fully animated, you absolutely can. Another thing you can do is change the entire background. Instead of it being live view, you can use an attract screen. Attract screens are the way that you get your video backgrounds in. So you can have your video kind of playing behind something subtle, something easy. You can also have a screensaver style attract screen over top that activates when no faces or no touches have been seen on the iPad after a configurable amount of time. Okay, that's flying through this stuff really quick because we only have about 7 minutes left. Okay, some people asked for printing. Let me just have a quick look if there's anything in the chat. Will the messages here be saved available to us as a player activist playing focus with them? Good question. I think, yes, the messages will be saved with the recording, but I will let you know afterwards. Can we see the Glam too? Sure, why not? That's really fast. Okay, so I'm gonna do this on the iPad. You can also configure it from the web. I'm gonna go to the filters option in the in-event menu. And now I have to say which template I want to mess around with. I'm going to mess around with the portrait 4x6. Okay, great. And you can see by default, everything is turned off. I'm going to turn on the Glam filter, and I'm going to turn up the effect for exaggeration just so I can demo it really quickly. In real life, you do not want to necessarily turn it up this high. So just looking at these demo photos here, if I zoom in really close, take a look under her eye. You can see that her crow's feet are completely wiped away and her skin is very smooth. Now take a look at the details of her eyelashes, which have been perfectly preserved, and her earring, which has been perfectly preserved, and her hair, which has been perfectly preserved. So this is a very intelligent filter doing multi-segmentation on the face to make sure that we keep the detail that needs to be kept. Now, let's find an example with teeth, because one of the things that's cool is the teeth whitening. So these 3 men here, if we zoom in, we can see his face is not only skin smooth, but check out his teeth. They are subtly wider. And we find that guests really like that, especially if they're like me. I'm of British descent, so I have absolutely terrible teeth. So I like this. Now, the amount of the Glam is just a slider. So it's kind of like the strength for all of the effects. The effects are skin smoothing, teeth whitening, and acne removal. So we do extra acne blemish removal. And what we find is if you're a fair skin like me, you probably want it down here, somewhere around 20%. And if you have guests with darker skin, then we typically find that you want to turn it up a bit because the algorithm has to work harder for darker skin. All right, that's the Glam filter. Once I've done it like this and I've turned it on, if I just take a photo, you're going to see that there's a Glam effect applied. So it's this template I chose. Let's go through it quick. Okay, great. Should you Glam every event? No, you should not. You should sell a Glam package, for example, with black and white filters and a Gatsby-like template. You should put this together in a bundle and make it part of an entire experience. Okay, if you have a look at my face, you can see I've turned it up really high for demo effects. I don't like that at all. I think that's way too high, but it's done a great job of reducing my acne and smoothing my skin. Okay, cool. So someone asked to see data collection. I think that's a great idea. Let's do that. So I'm going to go on the web here, and I'm going to hit the edit button, and I'm going to go to the data collection tab. So I'm going to flip the switch to turn it on, and you can see we've got our default text here. You can put your own HTML in here. You can completely customize this any which way you want. I'm just going to delete the second paragraph, show the first paragraph, and I'm going to look at these details under here. So what I can do is I can add what information I want to collect. By default, I've got like a header of personal details, and we're asking for the first and last name, and we're showing a checkbox of agreeing to terms and conditions. Okay, cool. But let's say that we don't need the name. It's not mandatory. So let's flip these switches here. So now it's not mandatory. But let's say we do want an email. So we're going to click the email button, and I'm going to move that up above the agree by using these arrows here. I'm going to say, yes, it is required. Now let's go ahead and click on one of these things like email, and you're going to see that there's a text label, meaning what is shown in the iPad app, and there's a CSV column name. You can guess what that's going to be used for. Okay, so I'm going to hit save, and now I'm going to pick up my iPad again on the right-hand side of your screen, and I'm going to take another photo of me, and you can see right away I'm getting told to enter my data. Okay, cool. That's data collection starting, but let's say you want to do it after the photo is taken. So I'm going to change a setting on my iPad. I'm going to hold down my two fingers. I'm going to go back to event settings. I set a password. It's a super secret password, T, don't tell anyone. And I'm going to scroll down that first page of settings, and you can see at the bottom, data collection is set to before capture. It's not what I want. I'm going to change it to after capture. Okay, great. I'm going to hit start and do it again. Let's take another picture. In fact, let's do one without the horrible glam filter over too much setting for my face. So here's one without glam filter. I say looks good. And now you can see after the capture, the data collection is coming. So let's do an example. Let's put something in. This is me. Here we go. Oh, don't want emojis. Put in my address and hit agree. Go on, and there we go. I've entered my data. Now I have the option to continue just like before. One of the cool things is that we automatically email it to you. Since we made you put the email in for data collection, we say, okay, well, we might as well send a copy of that photo to the guest without them having to enter it again. So this is an example of one of the ways we try and streamline your guest flow. Okay, now let's scroll down on the guest side on the web. And already you can see here's the information that was entered during the event. And if I want to, I can go straight to viewing the photos for that guest straight from there. And there's that photo I just uploaded. And somebody said they wanted to see the information exported. So let's go ahead on the right-hand side of the event. You can see I've got this export guest CSV. So I'm going to click that. And I'm going to open the file that was downloaded. And you're going to see it's a very simple CSV with all the information you would expect. If there was a phone number or an email, then that's shown. The date the shutter fired, so you know when the photo was actually taken. The file names, in case you download the zip of all of the stuff from the gallery later and you want to know which one does this represent. The link to the actual like online gallery view of what you've done, and then the information you asked for. So you asked for first name, last name. Email one represents the fact that we have the email they entered at the session plus the email that you said you wanted to collect. It's the same thing. And then I agree to the terms and conditions, whether it was checked or not. So that first piece of one there, that was there before we added data collection. So you don't need data collection to export your guest information. You can export your guest information anytime without the data collection feature. Does it send to phone numbers too if we require it at data collection? It does not automatically send to those phone numbers, no, because there are reasons why you would want to collect a piece of data and not send the information to that text. Okay, printing, how many different Wi-Fi connections? You can set it up how you like. There are many different ways to set up printing. We recommend using a hardwired Ethernet connection to a Booth.Events app. That's our app running on a PC. There are lots of different ways of doing it, and I will do a different webinar on that in a couple of weeks' time. I will do a full webinar on printing because it's its own thing. It's quite busy. Okay, we're over our time, so I want to end it there. There's a ton of stuff we didn't get to. As usual, nothing ever goes to plan. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who was able to join us today. Really appreciate you attending. And if you have any more questions, please join us in the Facebook group. If you DM me or send an email directly to me, I might not be able to get back to you right away. So I highly recommend either using our support channels or the Facebook group because you're going to get a much faster response there. And I'm, of course, looking at those things myself too.